Welcome to the Sisterly Shove, a podcast designed to push you headfirst into the utterly unserious world of sports. Our goal is to make talking sports less intimidating, whether you're a rookie, a seasoned pro, or a boyfriend just trying to keep up. We're your hosts, Cass and Emma. Let's give it a shove. All right, literally 3 sleeps until the first game of the season. I'm so freaking excited. I say we just get right into it because we
Yes.
have so much to freaking cover, starting with our fantasy football teams.
Yay, and I'm ready to do that. This past weekend and last week, we drafted our fantasy team for the 2 leagues we're in. Our first, the hashtag Need That League, which is full of our girlfriends and some tag-along men. So that is an 8-person league that we drafted for. And then on Sunday, we drafted for our family league. And that was the one we had mentioned a couple episodes ago where it's like a little bit more intense. Like we're doing that in person. We're putting stickers on the board. Yeah, it's a little bit crazy. So for our Secret Garden segment this week, we're going to go through the teams that we drafted and tell y'all which one we think is going to do better, which one we personally like better, why we took specific players and where. So let's get into it.
I want to start with hashtag Need That Win because personally, I think this was some of my best work. Very excited about this team. Thank you. And this was also the draft that happened first. So why don't we just go in order? Okay, so let's kick off with round 1 of our hashtag Need That Win league. I had the 5th pick. Emma had the 6th pick. So the first pick was actually Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, that surprised me.
I mean, I guess if you're not on Ja'Marr Chase, but I was surprised by that. And then second was Ja'Marr Chase, then Jahmyr Gibbs, then Saquon Barkley. I kind of thought Jahmyr Gibbs would fall to me. That's who I wanted. That did not happen. So I decided to draft CeeDee Lamb with my 5th pick. CeeDee Lamb is the wide receiver 1 for the Dallas Cowboys. And obviously, he's one of the NFL's best wide receivers. The past 3 years, he's been in the top 8 in fantasy production. And his quarterback was hurt last year. So now that Dak P is back, and I think this offense is a pass-heavy offense. They don't really run the ball a lot. And besides Mr. George P., Mr. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb is the clear wide receiver 1 here. So this is my first time ever having CeeDee on one of my fantasy teams. So we'll see how that goes. And then, Emma, you are right after me.
So
who did you go with?
I took Justin Jefferson, the wide receiver 1 of the Minnesota Vikings. He's another top wide receiver in the league. He has finished 4 straight seasons as a top 5 fantasy receiver. My concerns with him, as we kind of mentioned last week, was he's got a rookie quarterback. Is JJ McCarthy going to be able to get him the ball, like as easily as maybe Sam Darnold did? We don't know. I'm obviously not going to count him out because he's Justin Jefferson. So I was also refusing to take Christian McCaffrey. So that's who I went with.
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey went right after, and then Ashton Genty. I would agree with your assessment. That's why I didn't take Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
I mean, I think CeeDee was still ranked before him anyways, but I have the same thoughts and feelings about Mr. Jefferson. Yeah. So, but we'll see. I mean, with Sam Darnold, he's still that good. So.
Right, exactly. I'm not doubting him, just doubting that quarterback. So.
Okay, moving on to round 2. Emma, you had the 11th pick in the draft. Yes. Who'd you go with?
I chose Puka Nacua. He's a wide receiver 1 for the Los Angeles Rams. 2023, he had an insane season, finished with 1,500 yards on 105 catches. Last season, his production did go down due to injury. He missed 6 games, but I expect him going into the season fully healthy to have as good of a season that he did in 2023.
I had him on my team last year. When he came back, oh my God, his production was crazy. So if he can stay healthy, you're fucking golden over there. I was next up with the 12th pick, and I decided to go with Josh Jacobs,
our hometown
RB1. Hero. I love him. Yep. RB1 for the Packers. This might be, I feel like I picked him a little high here, but my strategy here was, okay, I got a wide receiver in the first round. I wanted a running back in the second round. He obviously had a breakout season in Green Bay last year. I think his production is only going to go up this year. It might be a hot take. I've seen some, I don't know, I'm all over Fantasy Bro TikTok. That is a toxic, scary place to be, and just makes me feel like, okay, so either way, I'm losing my league because everybody hates everybody for some reason.
Right.
But Green Bay likes to run the ball a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously proved himself last year. I don't see any downside with taking Josh Jacobs.
Right. I don't either. I don't think he's young. I think he doesn't have any like scary injury history. Like he was the clear scorer last year for that team. I think they're going to keep feeding him the ball as much as they can.
I'm happy with my pick.
And I think the Josh Jacobs picks will solidify because who you got next. Like, I think your running back room is freaking crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Running back room is freaking insane. After I was the 12th pick, then I was the 21st pick. And for some fucking reason, Derrick Henry fell to me in the 3rd round.
Amazing.
I was literally watching as people were picking, and I'm like, what the hell is happening Derrick Henry yet?
Yeah.
And I'm like, if he falls to me, I am snatching him up.
I had a hope for a minute. I was like, oh my God, maybe Cass will pass on him. But I just knew in my fucking heart, I was like, this isn't going to happen. So I need to start preparing for somebody else. But same thing. I was like, Mr. Henry, what are you doing here?
I mean, as I said last week, we believe in this man despite his age. He's a tank. He's a workhorse. He keeps his body healthy and right, if I do say so myself. And each of his 7 seasons, he's finished top 10 among all running backs in rushing yards and touchdowns.
You couldn't ask for anything better.
I'm sold. I'm fucking sold. And running back depth is always more shallow than wide receiver. So I was like, if I have the opportunity to stack my running back room right now, that's what I'm gonna fucking do.
I think
I did.
That's what I had a hard time with this league is I didn't realize how slim pickings the running back depth was. But I, for the 22nd pick, chose Devon Achane, the running back #1 for the Miami Dolphins. He's kind of a rising star in fantasy, I'd say. Like last year, he had a pretty good season. His numbers dropped when Tua went down, but he scored at least 11 touchdowns in both NFL seasons that he's been in, has paced all running backs in routes, catches, yards, and receiving touchdowns last season. My only concern is just obviously he relies a lot on Tua being healthy, and Tua loves getting himself a concussion. So that's all I gotta say about that.
I mean, if all goes well and it's healthy, this is another Shanahan offense that loves to run the ball.
Yeah, and the Dolphins got a lot to prove, I think. So hopefully they're going to come out swinging and wanting to win games.
All right, moving on to round 4. Emma, you were next up in our snake draft.
Yes, I took Lamar Jackson, the QB1 for the Baltimore Ravens, my king, my goat, my Shayla, if you will. Lamar Jackson finished as fantasy QB1 last season. He has no problem producing points. He's a great rusher. He's finished as the top 1st or 2nd rushing quarterbacks in rushing yards all 7 seasons he's been in the league. So I saw an opportunity to get my king and I freaking took it.
I'm there. I'm so happy for you, honestly, because I know you're a Lamar truther.
Yeah.
And this is just evidence of that. No, he's a great quarterback. I go back and forth with strategy. There's like maybe 4 quarterbacks that I would take this early, and probably tied for #1 is Lamar Jackson.
And I was considering taking Josh Allen, but Sydney, that little bitch, took him right before me. So obviously I was going to be happy with either one. But for a minute, I was like, Josh Allen, you're mine.
You're mine.
Unfortunately,
you're coming home with me. Yeah. You're coming home with me. Yeah, and so at this point, Jayden Daniels, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson were off the table. And so I decided to go with the strategy of not drafting one of those elite QBs. I do think QBs can be a dime a dozen. Obviously, besides those guys, a QB can always put up some good points with a good game.
100%.
So there are ones that I would take later on, and I was like, let's just keep building up my running backs, wide receivers. Yeah. So at this point, I had 2 running backs, stacked running back room, if you fucking will, and CeeDee Lamb as a wide receiver. So next I picked Ladd McConkey.
Laddie boy.
This was the 28th pick of the draft. He is the wide receiver 1 for the Los Angeles Chargers. It was his rookie season last season. I ended up picking him up off, I want to say I picked him up off the waiver wire. Or I drafted him late. Yeah. So I did have him at one point. No, I picked him up off the waiver wire.
Period.
And that was amazing. He started off a little slow, but towards the end of the season, very productive and consistent. So I figure he can only build on that this year.
Right.
I just think that Laddie's going to get fed. Yep. And I'm here for it. And I like his name.
And I love his name as well. And I do like that pick for you. And I do really like your strategy because I agree. I think quarterbacks, unless you have like the top too. The rest of them are going to do pretty much the same fucking thing.
So then in the 5th round, came back to me. I had the 37th pick. Another person that I was like, how is this person still here? My man, Terry McLaurin.
Ooh, scary
still there.
Yep.
He is the wide receiver one for the Washington Commanders. He just got paid this year. He has been like up and down, I think, in his career, but the minute he got a good quarterback, his production absolutely exploded. Last year, he caught 13 touchdowns after totaling only 24 in his first 5 seasons. And so I was like, you're coming home with me. You're gonna be sitting in my flex spot.
For my 38th pick, I chose Alvin Kamara. Now, this is where my draft gets a little bit scary because you can see my lack of knowledge kind of coming through. And I very much trusted the ESPN system rather than my own brain. I had him last year. He's not the worst. He puts up points, but he's like not the best. I mean, he has yet to finish a season lower than 5th among running backs in targets or lower than 9th in catches or receiving yards. So like, that's amazing. Biggest concern, bro stays fucking injured. Hasn't finished a full season since his rookie year. So
yikes.
I think when it was my turn to pick, he was like truly the only name I recognized out of like the top 5 given. And I kind of panicked and I was like, you know what? I had him before. You're on my team now.
So that is your running back 2.
That's
RB2.
Yep. And then coming back around to me with the 43rd pick in round 6, I chose Xavier Worthy, the wide receiver 2 for the Kansas City Chiefs. He had a late season emergence last year, I would say. He handled a hefty target share in the final 6 games, scored at least 19 fantasy points, including in the playoffs those last couple weeks. Putting him in my flex spot. I'm hoping he can like do something in the first 6 games with Rashee Rice being out.
I think that's a solid pick, especially with Rashee Rice being out. And then right after you, I had the 44th pick in round 6, and I chose James Conner. I needed a backup running back.
Yep.
James Conner was still available. He's the RB1 for the Arizona Cardinals. He could be like a solid RB2 in any
100%.
league. So
100%.
Again, amazed that he's on my bench. He has produced at least 220 touches, 1,080 yards, and 8 touchdowns in 4 consecutive seasons, and has finished as the top 20 fantasy running back in 4 straight seasons. Only thing that is slightly concerning is I believe he's in his 30s now. It's the only thing that maybe he is more prone to injury, but he was very productive last year, so 100%. I'm here for him being my backup. Moving on to round 7. With the 53rd pick in the draft, I chose Zay Flowers. He is the wide receiver 1 for the Baltimore Ravens. He is one of my least favorite wide receiver ones available in fantasy. I feel like I've had him for a couple of years for some reason. I keep picking him even though he pisses me off with his up and down. I just think, solid bench player for in this league especially. Basically put him in when my other amazing receivers have a bye. Hope he has a good week that week.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all that I'm really expecting from Zay Flowers.
Absolutely. So with my 54th pick, I took Jameson Williams, the wide receiver 2 for the Detroit Lions. He broke out a little bit last year after his first seasons were I think he was like suspended at one point, injured. Last season, though, he did finish 25th at his position, sharing the ball with Amon-Ra St. Brown, which is like fairly impressive. He's kind of like a little bit of a sleeper pick for me in my eyes. I think Detroit has an insane offense, and I think he could see a little bit more usage this season. Obviously, the offensive coordinator is gone, so that could look a little bit different. And then round 8, I was the 59th pick. I chose hometown hero Tucker Kraft. I will say, Cass, you did influence me a little bit last week. You mentioned you were a little bit high on him, and I was like, you know what? She's not usually wrong. So why don't I just snag him up? But basically, he took over as a tight end number 1 last season, and Green Bay, I don't think, has looked back since. So I'm going to take that energy into my fantasy team this year and let him go all the way.
Yeah, he's amazing, and I was fucking mad at you that you did that because I wanted him. And this was about the time all the good tight ends had been taken already. Yeah. There was a little bit of like a tight end run, and I was holding out, but I was like, if Tucker Kraft is available, mayhaps.
Right.
I will take him. That didn't happen for me. That's okay. We move on. We persist. With the 60th pick in the draft in the 8th round, I took Baker Mayfield, who is QB1 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yep. So finally went ahead and decided to take my QB. I was like, I got my solid backups. I got all my starting wide receivers, running backs, flexes, whatever.
Yep.
I could take a quarterback now.
You could. So, absolutely. And not a bad pick, dare I say.
I am very high on Baker Mayfield. I ended up picking him up in both of my leagues last year, one of which I won by the fucking way. He finished 4th in fantasy points per game and finished no lower than 5th in pass attempts, completions, yards, and touchdowns. This is a very high-powered offense. And he also posted a career high in rushing yards, and that's something that you really want to see in a quarterback in fantasy. Yeah. So with his newfound rushing upside and my personal favoritism, I was like,
amazing.
This is my man. And then in round 9, I decided to finally pick up my tight end. I was scared I was really going to get slim pickings. So with the 69th pick in the draft, I chose TJ Hawkinson. He entered last season having finished 7th or better among tight ends in fantasy points per game 4 years in a row. I do think with JJ McCarthy starting for the first time in the NFL, I'm kind of counting on TJ Hawkinson to be a safety blanket for him. I'm hoping this can be like JJ's check down guy.
Yeah, I like that mindset.
So hopefully that helps with his fantasy production. But tight ends are ones that I tend to really scour the waiver wire for. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with Mr. Hackensack, as I like to call him.
So for the 70th pick for me, I chose Mr. Cardi B himself, Stephon Diggs, the wide receiver 1 for the New England Patriots. Stephon Diggs could really help my team if Drake May is everything that you think he's going to be. He's coming off a pretty significant injury from last year. I think he tore his ACL last season. Something scary. But he does have a clear path to a large target share in the Patriots offense. So it would be nice to put him in my flex spot if he ends up being that guy. He has finished in top 25 in fantasy points per game 9 years in a row, and 17th or better in 8 of them, I think last year, just because of his injury. So, Mr. Diggs, trusting you.
I mean, out of all of the targets that Drake May has, all of them being very little, Stephon Diggs is the most talented, has the most raw talent. So I think this pick has big upside, Erm. So, I'm a fan.
Hopefully so. Thank you. And then round 10, I came back around in the snake with the 75th pick. Let me fucking tell you, I don't even know who this guy is. Aaron Jones Sr. is who I took.
Emma.
What?
Yes, you do.
No.
Aaron Jones played for the Packers for like fucking 10 years.
Well, now he plays for the Vikings now. Of course I would.
I'm actually really disappointed in that.
Girl, sorry.
Okay, sorry.
He plays for the Vikings now. Why would I know his name? If anything, I forgot it. Running back 1 for the Minnesota Vikings, ranked top 10 in running backs in carries, targets, touches, and yards ever. He cannot score a touchdown to save his goddamn life. Basically loves dropping the ball. Last year, he was projected to have 13 and only has 7.
13 what? Touchdowns?
Touchdowns. He was projected to have 13 touchdowns, only had 7. He will be finding permanent residency on my bench.
I was happy when Aaron Jones was cast out of Green Bay. So that's a little dramatic, but Aaron Jones, thank you so much for all that you did. I didn't hate him when he was there, but he could never stay healthy for an entire season.
Yep.
He's now 30 years old.
All right.
Vikings, y'all could have him. I came right after you with the 76th pick. I chose Matthew Golden, wide receiver 3 for the Green Bay Packers. Stashing this man on my bench because I think this pick might have very large upside. I think he has a good chance to be Jay Love's top target. And I mean, I've said this before, Green Bay loves to spread that ball around, but I think he will become a much more established and consistent piece in the offense. And next in round 11, another stash for my bench, Chris Godwin. Snatched immediately. Mr. Chris was on his way to a stellar season last year, his best in many a year. He scored 5 touchdowns in 7 games.
That's amazing. Okay.
But then he busted up his ankle. And then he was out for the rest of the season.
Damn.
Literally devastating. He's questionable for week 1, but he has the opportunity to start in the first 4 games. Great pick for my bench if he needs some time to recover, or even if he goes back on IR. Stuff that man on IR.
Period.
No harm, no foul.
No.
So I think this pick also has great upside for later in the season, potentially.
With the 86th pick, I chose Jacoby Myers, the wide receiver 1 for the Las Vegas Raiders. He's eyeing a 5th consecutive season where he ranks top 30 in fantasy. This one could have more upside to it if Geno Smith figures out how to be a good quarterback in Vegas. So, another one that could just sit on my bench a little bit. No.
There is nothing wrong with having a wide receiver 1 because they're going to get targets. So even on a not great offense.
Right. And then coming back around in round 12, I picked 91. This is where I took Joe Mixon, the running back for the Houston Texans. He is not the running back 1 right now because he is injured. He will not be playing in the first 4 games. But when healthy, he is heavily utilized within Houston's offense and should be the RB1. So hopefully when he comes back ready to go on a tear, he'll be good for me. He'll be perhaps taking Mr. Kamara's spot in my starting lineup.
That's a great stash for you. Yeah. This was another one where I was going to take Joe Mixon right after you, and you took him. Because I was like, oh my God, he's still here. I'm stashing that hoe.
Yep.
So good on you for that.
Thank you.
They are being slightly cagey with
I know
whatever's going on with him, but the season is long. That's not a bad move to have him.
Right.
So since you took Joe Mixon, I had to settle for J.K. Dobbins. This is not one that I'm really particularly excited about. He's technically the RB1 for the Denver Broncos, but they have a rookie, RJ Harvey, which people are very high on in fantasy. And they think that RJ Harvey is going to sort of take Dobbins' starting spot at some point.
Okay.
I don't know. Just filling up my bench. And then moving on to round 13. Again, we're just building out our bench spots here, so nothing too crazy. I picked Khalil Shakir, who is the wide receiver 1 for the Buffalo Bills. He did emerge as Josh Allen's top target last season. This one, it's kind of hard. They don't have a whole lot of big name wide receivers. Keon Coleman is the other one, and I had him last year. And then Khalil Shakir was better, so then I took Khalil Shakir.
Okay, so for my round 13 pick, I took Deebo Samuel, wide receiver 2 for the Washington Commanders. He was traded this offseason from the 49ers. He is one of the league's most versatile offensive players. It'll be really interesting to see how he performs with Jaden McDaniels as his quarterback and Terry McLaurin probably taking on that bigger load. But another good person to just have on your bench, and he's on a team that I think is going to be really exciting this year. So with the 107th pick in the 14th round, I chose Juwan Jennings, the wide receiver 1 for the San Francisco 49ers, with Deebo Samuel gone and Brandon Ayuk missing the first half of the season. Jennings is expected to have a big role for the 49ers offense this season. So another one that I was like, you know what? Sit on my bench. We'll see how you do. Maybe you can earn your spot as a starter. I don't know.
But with the 108th pick, I was still stashing people.
Yep.
And you know what?
Girl, tell me.
I decided to stash another quarterback here. Typically, I'm not a bitch who takes 2 quarterbacks, although in both of my leagues I did. No one was really moving me. I have all the backups that I need. And I was like, what if Drake May pops off this year?
Yeah,
what if he does? I predict that he will. Then y'all bitches know how to get a hold of me for a trade.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. Moving on to round 15. So there's only 2 rounds left. This is when we pick our defenses and our kickers.
Yeah.
Okay. In case you didn't know, wait until the very last second. Yep. Even if somebody starts going on the kickers and defenses are a dime a dozen. Just fucking pick one at the end. I decided to go with a defense first, and I picked the Vikings defense. I love the Brian Flores defense there. Yes. Like I said, they were sneaky good. They were scary to me last year. The only thing that I do worry about is they have a few guys missing that were on the team from last year.
Sure.
And in case the offense is less productive and the defense is on the field more, is that going to be negative? I don't know, but they're playing the Bears week 1. So I'm kind of hoping Caleb Williams just fucks up and the Vikings defense has a great game and all the more points to me.
Period. I love that. So I chose a kicker. I chose Jake Elliott. He's the kicker for the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia likes to score a lot. I needed a kicker, and this is who I went for. It's basically all I got to say. And then I came back around and chose my defense. This one I'm trying to see if I can big brain the whole league. I took the Cardinals defense. Arizona's made a pretty big effort in improving their defense this offseason. And they have a pretty easy schedule the first 5 weeks. They play the Saints, the Raiders, Broncos going to be a little, and then I think they do play the Seahawks. And like we mentioned, Sam Darnold loves getting sacked. So like maybe they do something. Not saying I'm going to keep them all 5 weeks. I might switch them out, but you never know. I just want to see how they'll do week 1.
For the first 2 games, I think that's a great pick. And I am somewhat of a fan of switching out my defenses.
Me too.
I try not to do it too much, but like there's nothing wrong with switching it out, especially if it's going to be a bad week. And then with my last pick, the 124th pick in the draft, I chose Matt Gay. He is the kicker for the Washington Commanders. High scoring offense. He performed well last season. He's coming home with me. That was #NeedThatWin. Let's see what our like power rankings are in this league.
Oh yeah, this league, I'm not necessarily a fan of.
The power
my
rankings.
Team.
I never believe the power rankings.
No.
I always get C grades on my drafts.
Oh my God, yeah.
I got a C grade on the draft of the league I won last year. And also there's lots of moves that you can make in season
100%. 100%.
Can change what the fuck is going on. Let's look. Okay, so I'm literally ranked 7th.
Okay, what am I ranked?
You are... Oh my God, you're ranked 1st.
Wait.
Yes. Serving punt. Yeah, okay. Oh my God, we should share our team names.
Oh yeah.
Emma serving punt.
Period. Yeah.
Love that. And my team name is Gladys's Weapons.
So fucking good. It's so good.
With the picture of Gladys. If you haven't seen Weapons, you're not going to get it.
But you should see it.
But you should see it because amazing freaking movie. And
amazing movie.
I thought it was clever and hilarious. And Gladys
is
my
amazing.
Queen. So yeah, I was ranked 1st and I'm ranked 7th.
Hilarious.
On ESPN.
I am not feeling my team with this league at all.
I never ever fucking agree with this shit.
Comment down below what you think of our #NeedThatWin team.
Yes. Please let me know.
Give us your grades, thoughts, concerns. I'm going to take it all with grace. I love a little constructive criticism.
I hate it, but I'll take it all the same. You actually cannot tell me that I'm wrong because I will not believe you. Like ESPN, you tell me that I had the 7th best draft. I don't fucking believe you.
Not trusting ESPN. Like, first of all, they fucking rated my team so low last year and I got 2nd place. So
how about that?
Tomato, tomato, tomato. Shall we move on to our family league? So I think we are feeling
I'm not excited about my team.
So that's hilarious. So I think I drafted much better in this league than I did in the first league. And I think for me, it's because I probably learned a little bit more from the first draft. And then I was like, okay, I'm seeing where people are going. I'm more familiar with names and positions. So I think I did much better in this one.
I think I did okay. I just think I have certain weaknesses and there are certain uncertainties.
Yeah, absolutely.
On my roster that like make me a little nervy.
Well, and this league is a little bit bigger. So this league is 10 people. We did, hilariously enough, get the 6th and 7th pick again.
We were right next to each other.
Next to each other. Once again. I mean, you can't separate 2 bad bitches, it seems. So
let's just get into it. Also, this team is going to seem sneakily like my other team because we had similar draft positions.
We did.
And
I have some same players as well. Yep.
So round 1 with the 6th pick in the draft, I again chose CeeDee Lamb. It was a similar situation. This was who I wanted. I'm not fucking taking Christian McCaffrey. Other running backs that I wanted in the first round were already gone. I'm like, CeeDee Lamb, here you are.
So I had that exact same mindset. I was pick 7. I chose Derrick Henry. Many people were like, dude, you should have taken CMC. No. We went on a whole 20-minute rant 2 weeks ago about why we didn't want him.
And you're a woman of integrity.
Literally, hello, I'm not going to go back on my fucking word. So I took Derrick Henry, as we mentioned, a tank, a star, a diva, a big man who's going to get the job done. So I wanted him.
And some people may say, okay, well then pick Ashton Genty, who is a rookie and the RB1 for the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm not high on that man at all.
I would have not used a first round pick on him.
I don't
personally.
know. I really don't understand. Like, I don't know what I'm missing. I really don't understand why he's going consistently first round in like every single league.
Right.
Huh? He's a rookie who's never proved himself in a shitty offense.
Yeah. Yeah.
What am I missing here? If you didn't want CMC, I'm not mad at you for taking Derrick Henry.
Round 2, coming back to me with the 14th pick. Once again, a little bit of a repeat. I had Puka Nacua, wide receiver 1 for the Rams. Earlier in the episode, you heard my little whip about him. I'm not going to say anything more.
Okay, period. And then also in round 2, I picked Josh Jacobs.
Yes.
My team is the exact same as of now. So if one of them ends up being a bust, both of my teams are fucked.
No, I think yours are very similar, like right now, the first 2. I think you changed it up, though.
I did change it up going into round 3.
Yep.
So beginning of this round, one person, I believe, picked Lamar Jackson. And I
believe you are right.
Okay, so here is where the run for the quarterbacks, for the good quarterbacks, are going to start.
Yep.
I missed out in my last league. I was like, what if I switch up my strat here a little bit? And I draft one of the really good quarterbacks. So I decided to go ahead and snag my king, Josh Allen, here. Obviously, QB1 for the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
Again, usually not my strategy. And maybe this is where I got a little spooky wooky. But this was a calculated risk. I knew he wouldn't come back around to me in the snake draft. I knew someone else would snag him. And I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and do it.
And the thing about it, I really respected this move because I think what we know about Josh Allen is he's guaranteed like 25 to 30 points for you per week, whereas I think the rest of
25 to 30 is a little high. I would say 20, probably.
20. Whereas like the rest of them, you're kind of like in that 16 to 18 range. So I, like you said, don't think he was going to come back around. You want a guy that scored points? Here you fucking go. Okay, for my round 3 pick with the 27, I chose Ladd McConkey. You gave him a good little spell earlier. He's a wide receiver 1 for the Chargers. Yep. I'm excited about him. I did name my team after him, but we'll get to that later. Round 4, I took James Cook with the 34th pick, the running back 1 for the Buffalo Bills. I'm excited about it. I think my depth is a little bit better this round. I get freaking Derrick Henry as my 1, James Cook as my 2. I'm not necessarily mad at that.
Yeah. James Cook isn't one that I'm particularly moved by, just simply because of the way the offense works with Josh Allen.
Right.
Because sometimes Josh Allen is just going to run that fucking ball.
He do love doing that. He does do that.
But, I mean, definitely not a bad RB2 for you. So as of now, I think I had 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, and then I grabbed a quarterback. So I was like, okay, I know that running back depth is scary. So I decided to go for another running back here. And I chose Kenneth Walker III, who is the RB1 for Seattle. I've had him for like 2 years in at least one of my leagues. He's always solid. Besides missing like a couple of games once in a while due to injury, always a solid output. So this was just a situation where I'm like, I know what I'm getting here.
Absolutely.
And I'm not mad at it. And then round 5 comes back around. Now I have to pick a wide receiver 2. This is where I'm just a little nervous about this. I picked Courtland Sutton with the 46th pick in the 5th round. He's the wide receiver 1 for Denver. I just don't understand I looked at his projected points for week 1. And he's projected to have 13 points, which, I know this league has more people, but, for a wide receiver 2, 13 points, I'm kind of like...
Well, yeah. Also, I think it's those first weeks. They're always a little bit shaky.
I just don't understand. I think he's being undervalued, to be honest. Because, I mean, he did establish himself as the clear wide receiver 1 in Denver. I think maybe the question is if Bo Nix can keep up the level of offensive production that he had. I just need to trust my gut that Courtland Sutton, hopefully a little bit more than 13 points per week would be great. Thank you very much.
Okay. For my 47th pick in round 5, I chose my original baby gorgeous, Jayden Daniels.
I'm so happy you got him again.
You had him last year, right? I did. Quarterback 1 for the Commanders. We did talk. Obviously, there's some concern with the sophomore slump. Does it happen? Yes. Do I think it will happen for JD5? Not in the way that it happened for CJ Stroud.
No.
I think there's going to be a game or 2 where it's like, whoa, yeah, he's obviously, but whatever. Because I think people are like, okay, this kid's a fucking threat now. We're going to want to rush his ass and take him down. I think there's going to be a little bit more of a target on his back. But I think he's going to figure it out. I think he moves in space well. He's going to put up points. That's
At the end of the day, he's always got that rushing upside.
Yeah,
so.
And I was like,
love that he was still here for you.
Right, exactly. And I remember you kind of told me, girl, I think you should. And I was like, do you think I should? And you're like, yeah, I think you fucking should. And I was like,
I think you fucking should take him. Yep.
So I did.
And I'm proud.
Yep. And then, dare I say this is my favorite pick of my team. In round 6, with the 54th pick, I chose the Don Diva himself, George Pickens, wide receiver 2 for the Dallas Cowboys. You guys, I really just had to take this diva. Is he problematic? Yes. Is he entertaining? Also, yes. I just had to. I think he will be good in my flex spot. Also, I do think that Dallas is going to be very, like we mentioned earlier, very offensive heavy. And so I think George P is going to put up good points. So I'm taking him. And I fucking had to for the bit of it all,
I think I was going to say, I'm like, was most of the reason for the bit? Yes.
Absolutely.
But I do think that this will end up being a good pick. With Dak as his quarterback, his production really can only go up in my eyes from previously. So I'm here for that, babe. Okay, my pick right after with the 55th pick, Tetairoa McMillan. He emerged as the wide receiver 1 for the Panthers after they traded Adam Thielen back to the Vikings.
Oh, Minnesota. # recession indicator, dare I say.
This is one that is another scary wide receiver pick for me. So he's in my flex spot as of now. He is a rookie. I typically like to go with the shirt. Go with what I know. And so this is, I'm getting out of my comfort zone here where I'm like, I don't know. Word on the street is that he's going to be the clear wide receiver 1. Word on the street is that he is good. And with the output we saw from Bryce Young at the end of the season, I'm like, okay, I think I can trust a little bit more in Bryce Young. Because he really, really did improve. Hopefully he doesn't regress in the offseason. I think this pick has upside for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just a little bit more gambling than I typically
think in
like to do
those
with
first,
my teams,
like we mentioned, like the first couple weeks, it's going to feel like, oh my fucking God, did I for real? But then once like he figures it out, I think it's going to pay off so good, so well.
And that was another thing too, where I'm like, this might be one, maybe it gets better as the season goes on. But like, is this going to be a good pick immediately right away off the bat for me? So especially in my flex spot, I'm like, oh, I don't really know. So we'll see. Going into round 7, this is where we started building out our bench. I needed a backup running back. Again, that running back depth is not great. So Tyron Tracy Jr., who's the running back 1 for the Giants, was still there at the 66th pick. I took whatever RB1 was still available, to be honest.
Absolutely.
I was going between Tracy and Emma's next pick. But I think Tyron Tracy is more of the clear number 1 here. I know like Cam Scatabo has been making some noise as well in this offense, but decided this was more of a solid backup RB option for me.
So my pick was RJ Harvey, the running back 2 for Denver, going before J.K. Dobbins. Like we said, he's kind of rumored that like, is he going to take his spot? We'll see. Cass mentioned that he's been like projected fairly high in fantasy. I kind of had that same mentality that you did with McMillan, because you're like a rookie. We don't know. We don't know until we see it, you know? But if I can put him on my bench and let him ride it out, and then he all of a sudden is like exploding, put him in for a bye week, that's literally what he's there for, you know? Round 8 with the 74th pick, I chose Rashee Rice. So as we know, he's serving a 6-game suspension. I'm stashing him on my bench. I chose him here because I had a fucking ill feeling that if I waited another round, he wasn't going to be there. And I am going with what I know. I had him last year, the first 4 games before busting his knee up. He was amazing. I'm expecting his production to be the same once he comes back from his suspension. So
for sure. And I think one of the major bye weeks is week 5, like where a bunch of teams are on that bye week. So as long as your main wide receivers didn't have a 5th week bye week, I was like, stash him, because you're not going to need him until after week 6 when he comes back. So love that pick for you, I was right after you with the 75th pick, and I chose Khalil Shakir again. I was looking at a couple of different wide receivers here, but I was also looking at bye weeks, and I had to pick one that had a different bye week.
And you know what's crazy? I forgot to look at bye weeks the entire draft. So
yeah, I'm a bye week looker. I try not to absolutely let it dictate all of my picks, but it's a factor that you have to consider.
Picking up some fucking poverty wide receiver 3 out the waiver wire because you can't play nobody. So I respect that.
Thank you. And then going into round 9 with the 86th pick, this was actually who I wanted, but I was like, I need to get a wide receiver with a different bye week first. I picked Stephon Diggs here.
Yes, amazing.
for the same exact reasons that you picked him in our other league. I'm feeling like this is going to have a very big upside for me.
Absolutely.
So.
I agree. Love the pick. And then for me, with the 87th pick in round 9, I chose Chris Olave. I basically chose him because he's the wide receiver 1 that was left there. He is the wide receiver 1 for the New Orleans Saints, though, however. Dog shit team, but wide receiver 1 on the bench, I'm not mad at it.
Exactly. Same premise as you taking Jacoby Myers on your bench. I cannot say that's a bad move.
Okay, round 10 with the 94th pick. I chose Tyler Warren. This was a little bit controversial within the fam. He is the tight end 1 for the Indianapolis Colts. He is a rookie. I'm feeling a little bit apprehensive about it, but at the same time, from what people have been seeing out of him, he is supposed to be that guy. He doesn't have the potential to be a Brock Bowers type, but they are saying he could be he's got the little bit of moves, the archetype of him. And to be honest, for me, tight ends, there aren't many a good one, right?
Yeah.
He's not my main player on my team.
By round 10, by the way, in our league, all of the good tight ends were gone.
There were slim pickings here, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to trust the rookie, see what happens.
I never doubt you. I was just very intrigued. I was like, nary have I heard of a Tyler Warren. And I am just not high on the Colts. Danny Dimes. No. Intrigued to see how this will go for you. Perhaps you know something that nobody else knows.
Yeah. And I'm
inclined to think so.
Because the minute it does happen where he goes off, hopefully against my dad, I will be talking shit immediately.
Absolutely. And also, you know what? If not, I feel like tight ends are ones, again, that I'd be watching the waiver wire.
Exactly. And that's
because sometimes they'll emerge in offenses you didn't think they would emerge in.
Yes.
Like Zach Ertz was one last year. Cade Otton was one last year when all of their receivers went down.
Notes, low key.
Take fucking notes, girl. So in round 10, I also decided to go for a tight end right after you. I went for Colston Loveland, the tight end 1 for the Chicago Bears. He is a rookie. They do have another pretty good tight end on their team, Cole Kmet, who's the incumbent. Basically, he's been there for a while. So I'm actually kind of intrigued that Colston Loveland is the tight end 1.
Period.
And a little wary that Cole Kmet is still there. Don't really know how they're going to utilize both of them. I do know that Ben Johnson loves to implement tight ends in his offense. So I'm really counting on that.
Play. Yes.
And I think he's just going to be a great check down option for Caleb. I know that Ben Johnson is going to tell Caleb Williams, you cannot hold that fucking ball as long as you do.
As he does.
Because last year he was sacked the most of any quarterback in the NFL because he holds the damn ball. And Ben Johnson is not going to have any of that.
You got to get that
check down.
Yep.
Check down to your tight end if you need to. So
period. I love that play. I love that move.
Hoping Colston Loveland is a breakout for me here. With the next pick, I chose another running back.
Period.
So I only had one on my bench so far. I chose Javonte Williams with the 106th pick. He's the RB1 for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Dallas has a shit run game. But I was like, you know what? He's new in that offense.
Yep.
Who knows? Maybe things will work out for him.
Yeah.
And solid backup option if he's the RB1.
100%. Okay, so for my pick, the 107th pick in round 11, I chose Tank Bigsby, the RB2 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We think he took over Travis Etienne last season, so hopefully that's still the case this year, and he can sit on my bench. All right, so round 12, this is where it gets a little exciting for me because I was like, I'm just going to do it because I fucking can. With the 114th pick, I took Cam Ward, rookie QB1 for the Tennessee Titans. I was just like, I don't necessarily know if he's going to do anything. There are multiple reports saying that, yep, this guy's the guy. So it'd be fun if he is. I don't know. I said Tennessee was my sleeper team, so I must fucking choose the QB1. And he was there, and why not? So
period. Yeah, again, I stashed another QB on my bench
right, you did.
Right after you did because with 10 people, we were getting a little low, and I'm like, I don't care to take another running back or wide receiver. I'm a stash Drake May again. I did it. Period. I did it again, y'all.
I love that. And we know where to find her.
You know where to find me. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say.
Oh, that's so fucking funny.
Last 2 rounds, again, save your defense and kickers for the last 2 rounds,
Please.
y'all. You heard it here first.
You did.
I went and drafted a defense first again, and I chose the Packers defense.
Ooh. Tell them why. Tell them why.
Micah Parsons and Xavier McKinney.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
Only thing I'm kind of nervous about, week 1, they play the Lions.
Mm-hmm. And they
Slightly nervous for that. Nervous for that. But I'm having them for the long haul.
I love that. I love that. Okay, I also took a defense right after you. I took the Vikings defense, the Brian Flores defense, the scary defense, where we think that even if JJ McCarthy won't keep them in games, their defense will. And then right back to me with the 134th pick in the 14th round, I chose my kicker, Evan McPherson, for the Cincinnati Bengals. They're just a high-scoring offense. They got no defense, so I expect them to be scoring a lot, and I expect that kicker to be working 40 hours a week, full-time job.
And then I chose Chris Boswell, who is the kicker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers can't find the end zone for shit, which means he's going to be kicking them field goals and getting them points.
That's right.
So,
that's fucking right.
Counting on some long field goals here. And he finished as one of the top kickers last year. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Dare I say, think we have the best teams in our family's league, so they better watch the fuck out.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm not moved right now, but things can always happen in season. You know, I'm watching that waiver wire like a fucking hawk.
Always.
I wish I had one more high power receiver on my roster. If I had Cortland Sutton or Tet in my flex spot and just one better receiver, I would feel better. But also that was the trade-off with me getting Josh Allen. So
right, it was. And there's always a fucking breakout star waiting on that fucking waiver, babe. So
exactly.
You're fine.
So you know what? I'm gonna ride with it. Let's see. Let me find our projections.
I think both of our power rankings were mid of the pack.
Yeah, so I'm literally last.
So that's fucking rude and dare I say misogynistic, though.
Rude. So yeah, literally last in this one, and you are coming in at 5th.
Whatever. I don't fucking believe that computer bullshit.
What the fuck ever.
Should we give our team names though? That's the most fun part.
But yeah, mine is not Joshin because I have Josh Allen and Josh Jacobs, and my profile picture is the picture of Josh Allen going like this.
It's so fucking good. My team name is Who's Your Laddie? Thank you,
Who's your laddie? Who's your baby?
Literally, thank you, lad, for the most amazing name.
Thank you,
my
Toby
profile
Keith.
picture, and thank you, Toby Keith, for an iconic song. My picture is not Toby Keith, though. My picture is Jaden in these little sunglasses, looking cute, looking right, and I love him.
Great team names. See, if there's one thing we can do, it's a great team name.
Yes. So once again, leave us your comments, your thoughts on what you think.
I guess it's okay if you fucking roast me in the chat. What the fuck ever.
But honestly, do it though. Like we
whatever.
Said, we'll take constructive criticism. I will take it hopefully kind of with grace. In my brain now I'll be seething.
I will not take it with grace. And I'm not even going to pretend to. That concludes our secret gardens.
Yes.
My secret gardens are becoming scary. My secret gardens are being infiltrated by real life consequences.
Yeah, unfortunately so. And the secret garden, is it going to be a safe space the next however many fucking weeks football is? Probably not.
God, no. But I am very confident in my #NeedThatWin team. I don't give a fuck. And see, that's so funny. What ESPN has to say.
I agree. Need That Win for me is not one that I'm super confident in. I guess ESPN sees something different, but like I said, I don't trust that hoe. I like my Who's My Laddies, the family league better. I don't know. I think I just did better there.
And you know what? You can win that league and I'll win the other league. And then
we'll split that money. There we go. And so, we'll update you on how we're doing on our fantasy teams as the weeks go forward.
I'm scared to air out my dirty laundry because I'm clearly a sore loser.
Oh, girl, me fucking too.
But you know what? That's fine. I'll be your entertainment for when I crash out because my team lost.
When our fucking make-believe team that we are general managers of is performing badly.
No, and
get fucking real. How?
I know. I need to get real. I need to touch grass. I need to go outside.
Same though, because let me tell you, the way it fucking kind of sets my mood for the day.
It really does. It really does. All right. So we have a new segment for y'all in lieu of the divisional drama.
Yes.
Coming to a close. Now, we will continue to discuss said divisional drama in this segment that we are calling the Pick Me segment.
Yeah.
Where all of the teams are giving Pick Me energy. Yep. And we got to pick one or the other. Who's going to win the game? Yes. So as we mentioned in prior episodes, we're part of a Pick'em League. So the object of the Pick'em League is to just pick the winners of each game each week correctly. The added challenge is that we also need to pick a team every week to lock. So the lock is important because if correct, it adds 5 points to your weekly total. If incorrect, it subtracts 5 points to your weekly total. You can only lock a team once per season.
Yep.
There's only 18 weeks, so you do not have to lock every single team at least once.
Yep.
But once locked, you cannot lock them again. Every week, we're going to be breaking down our picks, and we'll be keeping track of the results with you. Obviously, we're both starting at 0-0.
Yes.
So let's get into it.
Okay.
The first game of the 2025-2026 NFL season is Thursday Night Football, Cowboys at Eagles. Emma, what is your pick?
Fly, Eagles, fly, baby. Reigning Super Bowl champs are not losing their first game, I fear. Sorry, Cowboys fans. That's all I gotta say.
Are you? Are you sorry?
No.
I agree with you, I will also be picking the Eagles. Let's be honest. The Cowboys, I don't think are going to be good this year, especially after Micah Parsons' trade.
Yeah.
Even if they do come out hot with something to prove here, I don't think their roster is good enough to waltz into Philly and snag a win against the reigning champs. It's just not going to happen. Hashtag next.
Agree.
Moving on to Chiefs at Chargers. I am going with the Chiefs on this one. They're just the most inevitable team in football. And I don't know if I can realistically take Jay Herbie to overcome the Chiefs, even though they are at home. But Herbert, I'm rooting for him in my heart of hearts.
Rooting
but
for
I
Baby
don't.
Gorgeous, but we don't.
But I don't.
Baby girl.
I don't believe Baby girl. Yes,
Baby girl.
That's Baby girl. Jaden Daniels is Baby Gorgeous.
Baby Gorgeous.
But important distinctions to know. Everybody, what's your pick?
I'm inclined to agree with you. I'm picking the Chiefs as well. I think they got embarrassed last year in the Super Bowl. They want to come in, reminding people why they're scary. I think they want to set the tone early this season.
Next, Buccaneers at Falcons. What you going with?
I am going with the Atlanta Falcons. Michael Penix is going to remind everybody why he stole Kirk Cochain's job with a season opening dub. And, you know, the fucking Falcons low-key snatched the Bucks chain. When have the Bucks beat the Falcons? So
this is the first time that we have different picks.
Yes.
I am going to pick the Buccaneers for this game because last season they lost both divisional games to the Falcons, and I think they have something to prove after that.
I agree.
You know me, I love Baker.
You love Baker Mayfield. I say love that we're creating these little our own storylines in our head. We're like, no, they got embarrassed. They have a chip. They have something to prove. No, we are writing fan fiction, y'all. So
this is literally what we're doing. We're making up these stories in our head.
I'm not even looking at stats
they can be based in truth.
Yeah, they 100%.
Especially for week one. When I don't know what each of these new teams looks like with different pieces, different coaches, different coordinators, I have nothing to go on but last season.
I agree.
And I'm not a big preseason. I mean, I'll pay attention to the preseason, but I'm not putting all my stock in the preseason chatter. No. So I'm going based off of what I know from last year. Once we get into the season and I know more about the teams as I continue to watch the games, then I'll probably go based on.
And that's where it gets a little bit more challenging too, right? Because you're like, okay, you've seen how they played.
But the storylines will continue. This whole they were embarrassed and they're coming back. Those are real things. Real emotions are in these games. So, all right, moving on to Bengals at Browns. This is going to be my major upset.
This is fucking crazy.
Don't cancel me. I'm literally picking the Browns. This is crazy. Okay,
don't make me spit out my water.
Well, here's the thing. I have gotten burned by picking the Bengals to win their first few games of the season every single year. I get burned every single year.
They fucking lost.
Yes, I did. And I locked the Bengals the first game of last season.
I think I did.
Because they were playing the Patriots.
Yep.
Who ass. They sucked real bad. And I was like, surely that against a terrible team, they will win. And I think I did remember that they had lost their first couple games the season before.
Yeah.
But I was like,
you're like,
this is a terrible team. So you know what? Same philosophy. This is a terrible team. I don't care. I think the Bengals lose.
I love that for you.
And they have Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco knows how to throw that thing. I don't know. Against the Bengals' terrible fucking defense, I'm a believer in history repeats itself. I don't think this is a bad place for an upset. So that's what I'm going with.
Okay, period. And you know what? if it happens, like, I will give you your flowers right
No,
now,
if it
though.
happens,
Right now,
fuck everybody. I'm a
I'm,
genius.
like, stepping way far away from that. I will not follow history, and I will be taking the Bengals. I think Joey B doesn't want a repeat of his last season downfall, losing 4 in a row. While defensively, I agree with you, Cleveland could give Cincinnati a problem. They don't got that. They don't got that offense. So whereas Cincinnati does, I think Cincinnati's gonna run them out the damn field. So
I don't know. As we
we'll see.
saw last season, babe, there's only so much that Joey B can carry this team. There's only so far.
Well, luckily,
But we'll see. Well, I am
will be
excited to
choosing
see
the
my
Bengals.
baby daddy on the screen once again. Finally.
No, that's fucking right.
Meow. All right, Em, what's next?
All right, next game is the Dolphins at the Colts. To me, this is like choosing between ass and more ass. I am not a Miami truther, and the Colts just don't move me. But I have to choose a winner here, and I'm going to take the better quarterback. So give me the Dolphins.
Yeah, I have the same philosophy here. I think just the Colts are going to suck bad all out on Danny Dimes. I think he's actual fucking trash. And Miami definitely has something to prove, right? I mean, they sucked bad last season, and I just can't wait to see our Miami mobster dweeb hitting his jewel on the sideline.
He's just like me, for real.
So that may be the only reason that I watched this game.
Honestly, yeah.
All right, moving on. Raiders at Patriots, hammering New England Patriots here. I mean, not only are they at home, and this is obviously my sleeper team, and I am a Patriots apologist and believer. I also don't believe in the Raiders. I think the Raiders are a shit team. So I think they start off strong at home.
Love that. Once again, inclined to agree. Patriots, Mr. Cardi B, gonna remind everybody who he is, who he was, who he will always be.
Yeah, maybe have a breakout right away. That would be ideal for me.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be ideal for both of us.
I love that for both of us. Literally, for both of us, that'd be amazing.
Love that we're on the same team here. Love that.
Yep. Okay, so next game, the Cardinals at the Saints. I'm choosing the Cardinals. I think they made an effort to beef up their defense line. And dare I say, just to be extra dramatic, the Saints won't even score a touchdown. I might say that.
Love that.
But I do think they're losing. So
yeah,
they may score, but I think they're losing.
That might suck for your Alvin Kamara pick if they don't score. I'm also taking the Cardinals on this one. Saints are going to be the worst team in football. That's all I got to say about that.
Yep.
Moving on, Steelers at Jets. Two just dog shit teams that I hate.
Yep.
I guess Steelers aren't dog shit, but like, I don't like them, and I don't like watching them, and I don't like watching the Jets. Talk about no offense. This is just going to be a defensive heavy game. I think A-Rod does lead the Steelers to a win here, though.
Okay.
If Jets are obviously worse than the Steelers. But yeah, I think Rodgers has a bit of a chip on his shoulder with how the whole Jets situation went down. So I think he strolls on in there and says, fuck you, and wins. And also, Jets are just bad.
Yeah. I'm also taking the Steelers with you. 2025 Aaron Rodgers, I really don't know about you, but I do know about Mike Tomlin, and I know Bro likes to win. So give me Pittsburgh. We are at the Giants, at the Commanders now. Russell Wilson, you don't even hold a fucking candle up to Jaden Daniels. I'm sorry. He will lead this team to a win. So give me the Commanders.
I am also going Commanders all the way. I do think the Giants are going to be slightly better with Russell Wilson at the helm. Better than they were last year. But especially in Commanders territory. First game, they're going to be working out some kinks. Commanders all the way here. Moving on, next game, we have Panthers at Jaguars.
You want to talk about two dog shit teams?
No, exactly.
Here you fucking go.
And you know us, Trevor Lawrence haters in here. So, I mean, Bryce Young has showed us flashes of being somewhat good at the end of last season. So hopefully he can progress and come out the gate swinging and not crash and burn like he has in the last 2 years that he started. And give the Panthers a win here.
So do you want to hear something so fucking crazy?
What?
I chose the Jacksonville Jaguars going against
after all of that drama.
I believe it. After all that fucking drama, after the name calling, after everything. I know Bryce Young was giving flashes of being better. I'm just gonna go with the quarterback that I know is fucking mid, and I'm picking the Jaguars.
People are high on the Jaguars every fucking year. I just don't. I'm not like that.
This is the week I'm gonna choose them to win because I just have to fucking pick one. And I'm sorry, Panthers, but I don't know about y'all.
I respect it.
Yeah. So now we're at Tennessee Titans at the Denver Broncos. Give me Denver, talking a lot of trash this preseason, which I love, and I think they come out swinging week 1.
Yep, I'm definitely picking Denver here as well. Keep that momentum going from last season, and it's Cam Ward's first NFL game ever in opposing territory. Like, let's be real here.
Yeah,
so
rooting
Denver,
for you, but I just don't think this is your one bit.
Denver all the way. Oh my God, wait. Yes. Do I low-key lock Denver this week?
That's a good, might be your one.
We'll see. All right, let's move on. I'll noodle on that. Oh, we're moving on to the next one.
Yep.
Another 3 o'clock game. Detroit at Green Bay.
This one's tough.
I am pretty torn with this one. Last year versus good opponents, Green Bay was losing all of them games. So it is scary to start right off the bat.
Against Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary territory. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. I might be worried slightly.
Yeah.
But I am going to go with my hometown heroes here and pick the Green Bay Packers. They do have momentum after the Micah Parsons trade. And the Lions are missing their coordinator. So it's the first time that we get to see the Lions with their new scheme, and especially in Green Bay. I think as many cards that can be stacked in our favor are. So I'll go with Green Bay.
I'm agreeing with you, babe. I'm choosing Green Bay. Micah Parsons just gonna knock the ball out of that dork Jared Goff's hands, so I'll be sat and ready for it.
I will be sat. I will be sat in Lisboa. I am very sad that the first week of the season I will not be
But you're
surrounded.
a world traveler, though.
I know.
Like, you must see the world.
I'm still excited. All right. Next game,
Texans, at the Rams. I am picking the Rams here. I think playing at home will give them a slight edge to get the job done, even with Stafford's scary spine, as we mentioned.
Yep. So this one is tough for me. 2 great teams that I love to watch. Yeah. It should be a good game. I think with Stafford coming off of his injury here, I might take the Texans.
Period.
Because I know that Stafford hasn't practiced as much and the Texans defense is pretty good. So, I mean, tough that it's at home at the Rams, but I'm just going to go Texans and CJ Stroud here.
And you know what's beautiful about this game? One of us is certainly going to be right. So, like, if anything, that's a win for women at the end of the day.
That is beautiful.
So,
I love that. I love that mindset. Okay, so the next game, we are moving on to Sunday Night Football. Primetime game. We have Ravens at Bills. Holy fucking shit. The way I'm sat. The way I'm sat as fuck. I am taking the Bills here. I do. I think we're both biased in our picks here.
Of course.
I have Josh Allen on my team, so like obviously I want them to fucking win and I want Josh Allen to have a scary good game. I am simply picking the Bills based on home field advantage. I think this game can go either way.
Yeah.
But Bills home field advantage just tips the scales and has me going with
100%. I agree, but I don't agree with you all the way. I'm choosing the Baltimore Ravens.
Of course, Lamar
Truther, talk about a fucking cinematic ass game. Like you mentioned, this being a Buffalo home game makes it really hard for me to pick Baltimore, but I have to. I mean, last year the Ravens lost their first 2 games and Lamar went on live TV and said everybody was acting like they were on suicide watch. I really don't think he wants a repeat of that solely for his team's mental health. So I think he's going to go in there, get a fucking win, and make a lot of noise and scare everybody. And I think they also got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder with that fucking loss to Buffalo in the playoffs last year. So
I completely forgot that happened. And that is hilarious. Man, I'm actually surprised the amount of games that we picked differently. I'm like, so is one of us going to like do absolutely fucking terrible, or is it gonna be like we both do mid because we both can't be right? I don't know.
Right. It'll be interesting. One of us could come back real irritated next week and the other one real excited, or vice versa, or both just mid.
As long as I've been doing this league, my first week is always one that is not very good because you're only working with so much information. I don't know what these teams look like yet. So
all right.
Let's do the last game of next week. Monday Night Football.
Vikings at the Bears. For me, this one was like kind of easy, I guess, which feels rude, but I do not believe in the rookie going into his first game not at home. I'm taking the Bears. I think Caleb Williams wants to show people why he was the first round pick. And hopefully with his new coaches on his side, he can figure out how to get that ball out of the hands against Minnesota's scary ass defense.
Yeah.
But I have more faith in Caleb Williams getting the ball in the end zone than I do JJ McCarthy. And and with the Bears being at home, that's like my only mindset here. So taking the Bears.
No, you are making all logical sense. I am making a slightly illogical pick with this one, and I am picking the Vikings. I know I said last week that they are going to finish last in the division. I just do think they win this game. I think the Bears are going to need a little bit to develop and come into their own. Yeah. And the Vikings defense is so good. And I just think it's going to be too good for Caleb Williams to overcome in week 1. But I don't, and I'm also a hater. I think I think maybe the number one reason is because I'm a Bears hater.
You know what? That's amazing. That means you're sticking to your truth. So you have integrity. You are. So I love that.
We'll see. Another one that I will be sat for, though. Divisional opponents. I'm there. Let's say tentatively who we're locking. Now I kind of have 2, and I don't know which one I'm gonna do.
Okay, I'll do mine first because I think I just know who I'm gonna do. The lock is always for me. If I think way too hard about it, I get stressed out. So I'm just gonna go with the one I wrote. My gut. I know I said earlier I wasn't a Dolphins truther. I think they're ass, but I will be locking the Dolphins. They're a freaky ass team for me. I really kind of just see them being mid this season. I think they'll get a win over the Colts, though. And that's kind of where my mindset was. As you mentioned earlier, they have a lot to prove. So I can see them coming out swinging and putting up hella points. I also don't want it to be a situation where I have to consider locking the Dolphins later this season. I'm taking the game where Tua I know is healthy. So
yeah, that's smart.
That's who I'm picking.
You made a good point about being like, you should just go with your first instinct, like whatever you wrote. Last year, I did so bad at the locks. Like, this is my downfall, and then this is my downfall every year. Or then last year, I think I started out bad. Like I said, I locked the Bengals, and then they didn't do well. And then from then on, it was just like panic. So I did write down the Cardinals because they play the Saints, and I just think the Saints are going to be the worst team in football. So like, hello. But as I was talking about that Denver game versus Cam Ward in his first NFL game, and Denver's at home versus Cardinals are on the road.
I like
now
the
I'm kind of
Denver
thinking
pick.
about that too. Now I'm kind of thinking about that too.
I do like the Denver pick. Because what's interesting about what with the Cardinals and the Saints is like, we do know the Saints are going to be bad. I don't think the Cardinals are going to be that good. And like gambling on 2 bad teams is kind of tough.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think Cardinals will be fine. Just like
against that team, 100 P.
Yeah. So I'm going to noodle on that a little bit more. I'm not saying exactly who I'm locking quite yet. Maybe I'll look at the money lines too.
She says, let's go to Vegas, girl.
Who's most favored? Because then that makes my decision for me. So that is our pick me segment. Honestly, they're all giving pick me energy. They all want to win.
Yep. I would think like with a pick me segment, I'm going to have the most fun because like we are creating storylines. We're reiterating, like we're bringing divisional drama back in its own little way.
Yep. We're bringing all of what's going down to life.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
I think also to like, obviously like there is money involved in this one. I have some things to lose, but like I don't get as hurt if I don't win the pick'em league that I do with my fantasy league. So this one's going to be a little bit more like of a relaxing kind of. Obviously I'm going to be pissed with my fucking locks. There is times where I will be stressed, but like the fantasy one. Fantasy team.
The pick'em league is always so fun. It's one of my favorites because you're right, I don't get as stressed about it.
A little bit lower stakes.
And it's just always fun to keep. It's how I keep my knowledge up as well, like outside of watching teams, because I have some of their players on my fantasy team. This one, I just get to keep up with every single team and know what the fuck is going on. And then whatever game is on, I've got stakes in it because I picked one of these teams to win.
Exactly.
And that's what makes it fun for me. So
100%. I would agree with you 100%.
It's going to be a great segment. So that's all that we have for this week.
Yeah.
Obviously, the NFL season freaking starts in 3 sleeps for us. So we will still be releasing episodes every Wednesday morning. Next week, we will be discussing the first week of the season, discussing our results from our Pick'em League, the results from our fantasy teams, and also discussing our picks for the coming week.
Yes. Thank you all so much for listening, for watching. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at The Sisterly Shove. And also follow us on our socials, Instagram and TikTok as well at The Sisterly Shove. We will talk to you all next week.